Hello everyone and welcome to some MiSTer FPGA news. In this episode, we will be talking about a PlayStation FPGA console, arcade cores for Ninja Gaiden, Gradius 2, and more games, work-in-progress cores for Sega Saturn ST-V, and single-RAM Atari Jaguar, and more. Also, check out my channel sponsor MiSTer Add-ons, a place where you can get all your MiSTer needs, things like full MiSTer setups, accessories, I/O boards, and more. Now let's get to the news. The pricing for RetroRemake's MiSTer FPGA console that is themed after a PlayStation is set to be at $225, an excellent price for a full gaming setup that looks like a console. The mechanical design is almost finished and they need to finish the controller ports before a sample PCB can be made. Along with the controller ports, this console is also going to have slots for memory cards. RetroRemake is also creating an NFC reader along with NFC cards made from PCBs. The reader is ready for SMT and basic case design. The NFC PCB cards look like what you would find if you opened up a Game Boy cartridge but with some pixel art sprites. This NFC reader should give MiSTer owners another option for using the Zaparoo project, which will let users launch games via NFC tags. A later post finally introduces the console to the world. This is what the post says. The world's first affordable FPGA gaming console, inspired by the PS1. Supports PS1 games, memory cards, and controllers. Analog/digital output, NFC/Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. MiSTer FPGA compatible. Disk support not pictured. Pricing starts at $149 for founders and friends. So we now know that officially disk support is being added, but I have questions regarding how it will work. Are they going to run games directly from disks? I know that will require cores to be updated to support disks. Will it initially dump the game to your MiSTer and then launch it? Or are they going to rely on Zaparoo support to launch games using optical disk? Zaparoo accomplishes this by matching a disk to an internal database that will in turn launch a disk image stored on your MiSTer FPGA. It will be interesting to see what approach they take for disks. The final name of the device has not been revealed, and Taki Udon says that the current SS1 name shown on the post is only a code name. One of the YouTube channels that helped me out a lot when I started using the MiSTer FPGA is coming back. Pez82 will once again post MiSTer-related videos and other things on YouTube. I really enjoyed his content, so I look forward to what he has for us in the future. So I recommend you check out his channel. What's Ken Making previously posted an overview video going over his DIY MiSTer Handheld. It's an handheld that's based on the QM Tech FPGA board, and Ken has made it completely open source. He now posted an update video showing us exactly how to build the device. This video would give those interested in making one a visual guide to see how everything is done. There is a new Jaguar core in development by Mazamars, and it's supposed to be working with only one SD RAM chip. Pixel Cherry Ninja has posted a live stream interviewing the developer and testing out the core. The core is still in development and not available for download yet, but you can check out Pixel Cherry Ninja's livestream to get more details about the core. Protego ended 2024 by releasing a brand new core. This core is based on Konami's Twin 16 hardware. Called JTWC, this core brings two new games now. Kubrick, a puzzle game that has some elements of the puzzle game Pipe Mania or Pipe Dreams, depending on what system you played it on. The core currently does not display sprites correctly. And there is the addition of Gradius 2/Vulcan Venture, the sequel to Konami's popular shooter. This game is still buggy as sprite collision fails badly. The core also supports alternate versions of MIA and Hard Punch. This core is currently in beta, so for now you will have to be a Protego Patreon subscriber to use it. Protego's JTWC Core, which is compatible with Tehkan World Cup, is now available to the public as no more issues have been reported. That means that non-Patreon subscribers can now download the core. As far as I know, the only games supported on this core are Tehkan World Cup and Gridiron Fight. Core developer Raki just started development of a Yamaha YM3438 Core. Since the YM3438 is an FM sound chip, this isn't an entire arcade or console core. It would be a module that could be plugged into cores for hardware that use that specific FM chip. On Wikipedia, it says that this chip is a modified CMOS version of the YM2612 that was used on the Sega Genesis and other arcade system boards. This version has an improved built-in DAC that significantly reduces the presence of crossover distortion from the original chip, with a higher signal-to-noise ratio than the YM2612. But this chip is not a direct drop-in replacement for the 2612, as the sound outputs have higher impedance. Raki is hoping that this new FM core will fix the sound bug in the current Psychic 5 arcade core. Soon after the Konami Twin 16 core, Hotego released a core that runs Tecmo's Ninja Gaiden arcade game. The game is significantly different from the NES Classic, as it's a two-player arcade beat-em-up instead of an action platformer. This core was derived directly from MAME because Hotego wanted to first identify which parts of the board are worth examining for schematic extraction. They do have a physical board on hand in preparation for this. This is also a beta core, so for now it's only available to Hotego's Patreon subscribers. Electron Ash has a work-in-progress core for the Sega ST-V arcade system based on the current Saturn core. The Sega ST-V was arcade hardware that was based on Sega's home Saturn console. It differed from the home console in that the arcade hardware used ROM cartridges to run games instead of CD-ROMs. Electron Ash has a GitHub with some core builds, but those builds are pretty old, and I'm not sure if they have the ST-V support. However, the GitHub does have some recent commits, so you can always try to compile the current code yourself. A new Zaparoo core and Zaparoo app has been released. These new releases finalize the transition from TapTo to Zaparoo, but also include many new features and bug fixes. Zaparoo is what allows you to launch games via NFC tags on your MiSTer FPGA. You can encode the instructions to launch a game into items that have NFC tags like NFC cards, NFC stickers, and even Nintendo Amiibos. All you have to do to obtain the latest version of Zaparoo is to enable Wizzle's extensions in Update All and run Update All itself. This update comes with some major changes to how things are configured. Now there is no longer a tapto.ini file. Config saves are now done on a config.toml file. There is a wiki article that details how this works. The mobile app will not work with the latest core app that runs on the MiSTer FPGA, so make sure to update the mobile app on your phone's app store. The tapto.sh script is no more. There is now a zaparoo.sh script that must be manually run once in order to complete the migration. Notable new features for Zaparoo are: there's initial support for media playlists. This feature allows you to set a path to a folder on a token, load it, and navigate next and previous media in the folder. See the wiki for details. This feature is a work in progress, and feedback is being asked on how it should work best. There is now initial support for video playback on the MiSTer. There's still more work to be done for video testing, but if you need help, you can check out the Discord. If you would like to read the full list of features and bug fixes for both Zaparoo Core and the Zaparoo app, check out the post on the official zaparoo.org website. Bedroom Ninja designed a Zaparoo reader that can house Super NES, Game Boy, standard NFC cards, and Zaparoo trading cards. It's called the ZapLoader NT. This will not load games directly from a cartridge, but if you attach an NFC sticker to a card, you will be able to launch a game by inserting a card onto one of the ports on the ZapLoader NT. You can follow Bedroom Ninja on social media to find out when the ZapLoader NT goes on sale. And other miscellaneous MiSTer fixes and updates are: for the Super NES core, there are many fixes and tweaks from SRG 320, and the framework was updated. For Hotego's JTF Round core, the core has received improvements because of a certain chipset used for the JT Twin 16 core. An important difference is that sprites were visible one frame ahead of time in the previous version. For the Neo Geo core, there's an updated audio chip from Upstream, and the framework was updated. For Cosmic and Cosmic Gorilla cores, the framework was updated by Macro. Macro also updated the Crazy Balloon core by fixing repeating sound effects and updated the framework. For the Arcade Astrocade core, Macro added Frame Advance dip for Gorf. If this is enabled, you have to press Start 1 in-game to advance to the next screen. For the MSX1 core, Molecular updated the framework. So that's it for this episode. Please also try to support Sorge, the maintainer of the MiSTer project, and other MiSTer developers and contributors on support platforms such as Patreon and Ko-fi. Their hard work allows us to enjoy this amazing project. I also provided links to all my sources in the description. Make sure to also check out RetroRGB.com to see my MiSTer News videos in blog form and to get more retro-related content. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and this bell icon so you can get notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.